Yes, and welcome to Improv Inside Out, where we talk to guests about the healing power of improv. So now here's your hostesses, improv coach Diane Kettering and therapist Katie Warzel. All right. Okay.
Here we go.
Yay! We did it.
That was beautiful.
Hello, and welcome to Improv Inside Out. Right?
Hello.
We haven't done this in so long. It's like, what's the name of it? Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And welcome to Improv Inside Out, the healing power of improv. I'm Diane Kettering, your improv host.
And I'm Katie Warzel, your mental health host.
And I'm
This is Peter Goodall, our guest, who felt like he had to introduce himself because we wouldn't do a good job, I guess. What a control freak.
wow, it's great to be here. Thanks, Diane, for
I want you to feel welcome.
Yeah.
So besides being our guest, I don't know, Peter is also a new member of the Echo Cat cast.
Yay, Peter.
Yay! At the bottom of the totem pole.
Yes. Peter, how long have you been doing improv?
I've been doing improv for, probably since 2018 or so. So however many years that is in math. I would say six.
Math. In English.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years or something like that. I don't remember. I probably should have studied up on that.
So, did you start off at the improv shop?
I did, yes.
So you did long form.
Yes.
And then when you came to Echo Cat, was that the first short form?
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah. I had seen like Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I had seen short form, but the shop did almost exclusively long form, other than kind of basic building block type stuff.
Yeah.
Which is useful in any venue.
Yes.
But yeah, that was the first time that I had done short form was with you guys.
I didn't know that. You did so well.
Oh, thank you. Well,
obviously.
Short form's nice because you can, if something isn't going well, you don't have to try to dig your way out of it.
Yeah.
You can just end the scene and move on.
That's true. Yeah, just because it's so gamey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you can kind of go for like the low hanging fruit and the quick laugh and stuff.
If you have to,
because you know that in 60 seconds you're going to be on a totally different scene as a totally different character.
Right. Which do you prefer?
I have to say that they both have their place, and it depends more on my mood.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to say one or the other, because, there's times when I really want to dig in and do long form and commit to characters, but there's also times when I just want to get a quick, cheap laugh. I think short form is easier to do on stage in front of an audience. Because it's really easy to get those quick laughs, and it doesn't matter if a game isn't working. It's, in a couple minutes you're going to be on to something else.
It's like giving birth. It'll all be over in a little bit.
That's right. You just have to push your way through, We're at 10 centimeters, so.
Yeah, I do. There's something about on long form, like how vulnerable you are on stage. Mm-hmm. And I love the improv shop stage because you're, up a little higher and it's big. We have a little small stage, but when I do long form, I miss short form and vice versa.
Yeah. I'm glad that we get a little bit of time to kind of do both.
Yeah.
And they bleed into each other too. There's definitely, especially on our first Fridays when we're doing short form, there'll still be common themes.
Oh, yeah.
Someone will get a good laugh, and then we'll bring that to the next scene and stuff. And so it's kind of like short form is really just long form optional.
You still get to work on characters too.
Yes, and the characters always matter no matter what form.
Do you do any character work?
I hate characters. Why would you do characters? You're up on stage to talk, and
I know.
Yeah. Characters add a layer of complexity that isn't necessary for improv. Quote me on that.
Little tip from Peter Goodall.
Characters are my weakest thing, and it was my hope that if I like had this really weak thing, I would work really hard on it and get really good at it. And it hasn't worked out that way, I don't think. But it reminds me of, like, if you ever watch NPR, everyone on there had, like, speech pathology issues, and a lot of people that, like, are theater people had issues with getting in front of a crowd or speaking in public, and so they started to lean into the curve to overcome that issue. And so that was my hope that, whoa, Peter's got all these great characters because he's so terrible at it. But it hasn't worked out. I'm just not great at it.
Well, I am finishing up Upright Citizens Brigade character class. Mm-hmm. Oh, it is so good. It is. The way they teach it is so good. But that was just me dropping names.
They are upright.
UCB is what the cool people call it.
That's wow. That's amazing, Diane.
Yeah, don't you call it that?
You're so cool.
I'm so cool.
She's so
but
great.
I'm not
Let's talk about her.
gummy cool.
She's awesome.
Oh yeah, gummies all the time.
All right, I'll turn it over to Katie. I'm done with you.
Am I still in echo? Okay.
We'll see.
Crap. All right, don't let her answer.
We'll see.
Let's see how this ends up.
All right.
So, Peter,
Katie.
how has improv impacted your life? What are the things that you like? What caused you to step into improv? And what changes have you seen, like, in yourself since you started improv?
Well, I sort of flirted with improv a little bit for a long time, like since college. And I saw a couple shows and I thought they were interesting, but at the time I was kind of too cool to be vulnerable.
Right.
That was a big thing for a long time. I was like, oh, I can't get up on stage and bring down, my shield. And
absolutely.
I have friends and they might think I'm not funny. I might say things that aren't funny. Mm-hmm. And Diane taught me how important it is to not be funny.
That's right.
I am the queen of not being funny.
No, but it is really true that you learn that being funny is kind of this ancillary effect of doing improv or something. And it's not, the more you aim for it, the more it like kind of escapes you. So it's best just to leave it be and work on the basics, work on characters, work on emotions. Your setting, your situation, your base reality. Diane, help me with all that.
Look at you give me all the credit for stuff.
Yes, I'm
and that's
low
why
on the
he's a
totem
guest.
pole, so I have to massage your ego. See the previous episode.
That's right. That's right.
Just listen to it.
Pass the baton, the ego baton down to you.
But then I moved back to St. Louis. I went to Mizzou, so I moved back to St. Louis after college and kind of just got on with my life. And then I saw a show at the Improv Shop. And this was years later, and I realized that, oh my God, I have to do this again. I didn't know, and so I immediately, like later that night, sent an email and signed up, at the Improv Shop to get started again, and have just loved it ever since.
Okay.
It helps me in all kind. I'm a really socially anxious person, and so I get in my head, and improv teaches you so much to be present,
right,
and to not think about, okay, here's what I'm going to do next. And because really life is, when you walk around, you're doing improv all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was in sales for a long time, and so much of that is just diving in. And I realized that I've worked with improv so long that I'm worse when there's a script. When I know what I'm supposed to say or I have a speech to give, I'm worse. I find the best thing to do is just maybe write out a few main points and then improvise it. And the same thing happens when I'll try to I'll be on stage or something and I'll have an idea of how something should go. And that's when I'm forgetting to be present, when I'm trying to map out the next few lines. And that's always when the scenes go poorest. And when they go the best is when you just, you open a door, you think you're going into the bathroom, instead you're on stage. Oh, this guy's a blacksmith, and now I need to be, a sword maker or something. And that would be my ideal improv situation. Okay. I didn't even know I was supposed to have a show that night, and now all of a sudden I've got to, perform an hour worth of material.
Right.
Right. And I know I make fun of this all the time, but you love being on stage, and I think everybody loves being on stage if they're in improv, let's face it. But that's what makes you even more fun to watch, is because you can see the joy in your face when you're on stage.
That is fun.
He's having so much fun, and I think that's why you're likable to the audience, because they're, I want to be in on this. I want whatever is in his head, I want to be in on it too.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. You just look like you're having a good time.
It's the gummy I take before I'm on stage every time.
Well, it works.
No, it's weird. It's like how people talk about like they're in a marriage for years and the magic's still there. I still, every time I get on stage, I'm a little nervous before, and then I get out there and it's like I'm a different person. It's like I get out on that stage and none of the crap from the day or the week or, someone was upset at me at work or whatever, none of that matters. You leave it all behind. It's all part of that being present. And all that matters is being on that stage. And I don't know, the only other time I could think is when I did yoga. I would feel that way sometimes when you're working out and you're getting a really good workout. Sometimes you feel that way. But then what happens, unfortunately, is that you have to, you come down because you have to get off the stage. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, and then you remember, oh my God, my boss, I need the TPS reports, and my kid's wife has a thing. Or whatever, whatever
3-year-old wife.
Yeah. So, a 3-year-old,
do you get nervous going on stage on Wednesday nights?
A little bit, yes.
We do Wednesday workshops, drop-in workshops, and Peter's there all the time.
Yeah, part of the anxiety is that you're really nervous about something, and then you get into it, and it's fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But you spend, the more time you have, like, sitting there and thinking about it, the more dangerous this thing gets, and the more scary it gets in your head. And that's why a lot of times I jump on stage right away.
Yeah.
Because if the more time I have to think about it, the more time I have to think about it, the more I'll be like, oh, I should do this, and I should do that. Oh, it's not going to be funny. And I'll analyze someone else's scene. This isn't fair to my scene partners, but I'll watch their scene. I'm like, boy, it would have been funnier if they had done this. I'm going to do that. Instead,
I'm going to remember that now next
week. Get out there.
You don't show it. If you're nervous about it, you don't show it. I just think you're hopping on stage because you can't wait to get on stage.
Well, it's also trained,
Yeah.
Get on stage. It's like when we do anything, get out there, especially if there's a second hesitation, then I know that if someone's got to go out, it's going to be me or maybe Jay.
True, yeah.
Jay's really good about that, too.
Jay's good about that. I know I should know this. What kind of work do you do for a living? Do you have a job?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I yell at people at the bus stop.
Nice.
It's great pay.
That would be so fun.
No.
What do you yell? What do you yell to them?
I sell. That's between me and them.
No, did I say sell? I thought you said yell.
No, I did sell medical software, and now I work in IT for medical software.
Do you really?
Yeah, for an EMR, electronic medical record.
So that's and we're going to talk to Pat
Which
too.
one?
PowerSoft. Everyone asks. We're a small company. PowerSoft MD. But
right.
Yeah, they probably
Can you
know.
give me a deal?
They're going to be inundated by phone calls now.
Sorry.
I'm just
Also
wondering.
dental software.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't overcool yourself. Man, gummies and what was the other thing that you're so cool about? I forgot.
Everything, life.
So, has improv helped you at all at your work?
No. No. All
right, well, thanks for being
here. Of course. Every time I pick up the phone, I'm in a conversation. There's a balance between...
Start doing a character.
I have an accent and a limp. I feel like you can really hear the limp over the phone. That's how you know you're doing well, when you can...
Hey, buddy, you okay?
Yeah.
How'd you get the injury? Were you numb?
The guy who eats like Cheetos and pork rinds while he's talking on the phone with someone. That's me. That's my character.
Nice. That's your character.
Yeah. What was I talking about?
So how has it helped you at work?
Oh, yeah. So anytime I'm in a conversation, again, it's not, real life is not scripted. Real life, the conversations you have with people, like what we're doing right now, is just off the cuff, and you have to manage between well, it helps, and I guess you don't have to, you could just be humorless, but it helps if you have humor but in the right doses.
Yeah.
And that, a lot of times, if someone calls and they're upset about something, you can kind of diffuse the situation with a little dose of humor, a little bit, but not too much. And so improv has really taught me how to take things seriously and then make them a little goofy and then move them back to serious in appropriate amounts. There's someone else, and my boss is too humorous, and I think it's like sometimes it makes people angrier. Like they're like, I want to be angry right now.
Is he like Michael Scott?
Yeah, they don't say that. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And that would make you what, Dwight?
That would make me Jim, the cool
whatever.
one.
Of course.
I'm Jim. Everyone's Jim.
Everyone wants to be Jim.
There's 100 Jims, and they're all actually Pams.
All right, well,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about your life, too. Because I know we're going to talk about, I don't, it's okay to say your daughter's name. I don't know if it's okay.
Yeah. Evelyn. Wait. Evelyn. So then we can, in post, we can change it to, whatever.
But I call her Evie.
You call her Evie? You can call her Evie. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we have we have a friendship and text each other. Hey, Ev.
So
No, we don't.
I know we said we wouldn't talk about it, but I'm going to talk about the video. One of my favorite things about improv, and I made a little thing about this, is that my daughter is at the stage where she's sleeping alone, and she has trouble with it sometimes, and she'll sneak into our bedroom. And so whenever we have to like sit with her for a couple minutes after we put her to bed, to help her, let her know it's safe and you can go to sleep now. And she always wants a story about Princess Evelyn.
Aww.
And it was this princess that goes on all these adventures and has like a mommy and daddy just like she does and stuff.
And it's not a book, right?
No, it's
all
not
made up.
No, this is all totally made up. And so I didn't even realize I was doing this. It's just one day I was telling her a Princess Evelyn story, and the way it starts is, we read a couple books, and that helps calm her down, and then we turn off the lights, and then she wants a Princess Evelyn story. And so I'll ask her, okay, so what story do you want about Princess Evelyn today? And she's like, I want a story about Princess Evelyn and the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I'll say, okay, well, let me tell you, one day Princess Evelyn was walking through here, and I go through a little story, and I realize I just took her suggestion and then repeated back a story for her, just like improv.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And so,
that's fantastic.
I didn't realize until she was asking Jen, her mother, to do that, and she wasn't as good at it. She's a wonderful mother, but it was these improv
Even though
skills.
she's
Wow.
maybe isn't.
Throw
amazing.
Jen under the bus.
She's the most amazing, beautiful mother.
She's a saint.
Yes, she is, and she puts up with me,
And
I love her for it.
I don't, nothing against you, but she's so hot, man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She's so
I know.
attractive.
I know. No, I know.
Like, it's like
What?
out of the world.
Where do you think
He
the
must
kid
have a
came from,
good sense of
As Diane is fond of reminding me, I am a selfish lover.
I'm only guessing that you are.
She said that twice, so
it just seems like the right thing to say sometimes.
it usually, it works out, I guess. But it's like, it is odd that it happened twice,
It is odd. It is. You know what I want to know, when you do Princess Evelyn, what does her voice sound like?
Princess Evelyn is bold and strong.
But what do you do? How
What,
does
my
your
voice?
Yeah.
It's still mostly my voice, maybe a little bit.
You're about to do it.
I was hoping.
That'd be annoying.
No, it's not. Hey, everyone. No, it's just like, it's kind of like, I don't know, late 70s Michael Jackson, maybe.
Really?
Hey, everyone. A little higher, but not really, like just like around bad, maybe, like early 80s, but not, not Bubbles the Chimp era. That's a little later.
Oh, there's a mushroom. Hee.
No, but the character of Princess Evelyn is very brave and very strong and very bold, and she never uses violence. She admonishes people, though.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Powerful.
I can't wait to see what issues you have to deal with when she's a teenager.
Well, now everyone knows. Again, Princess Evelyn. So we'll edit that out so that it's a different child.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the time to do that for sure.
Wow.
So how have you seen, so you've mentioned a couple of things work-related, like externally. So what about internally, have you noticed? So I know this is a little bit of a deeper question, but have you noticed any changes in yourself on the inside since you've been doing improv?
Yeah, the big thing is I've learned to trust myself
Okay.
when I go into a situation. I've learned that I can make it through this social situation without, too much friction. And even if there is friction, that's the other thing I've learned. Even if there is an issue, it's not the end of the world, Like you accidentally pronounce something wrong, and it's not like, oh God, I have to like move to a different zip code now because this person that I'm with, heard me pronounce a word wrong or something.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the two big things. It's just a trust in yourself. It's like it builds you a center of your confidence that you can use and replenish when you're in different situations. And yeah, it's definitely a skill that I wish I had, like in high school. College I was a little better, but yeah, definitely in high school I was really like just socially nervous, and I didn't go up to people. It's just like I had to know someone before I could talk to them. And how do you talk to someone to meet them if you don't know them?
Yeah.
And I was in a lot of situations like that, and I thought it would have been a great skill to have. It would have given me that confidence, to speak to other human beings.
Right.
Yeah. So that's great.
So do you have a social approach now, like to meet someone or to go up to someone you don't know and talk to them? Do you have a standard or a format that you use?
Well, honestly, I figured out that there's one thing that everybody loves talking about, and it's themselves.
Yes,
and so
true.
that was, and I learned that, that was part of my forging, by fire, my trial by fire, is that I figured that out. And it's like, oh, well, that's something you can talk with anyone about. Right. And usually there's something in there as you move through the subjects, you'll find something that you have in common with this other person. And then once you find that, you're off,
Right.
And then it's kind of amazing. You'll just sit there and listen, and you won't even say anything. And at the end of the conversation, they'll say, "Wow, you're such a great conversationalist."
You're like, that's right.
Yeah.
And they know nothing about you.
Yeah. They're like, "Peter's great, He let me talk endlessly." No, they don't say that, but.
Did you watch Doug's interview?
It isn't up yet. It hasn't.
Oh no, that's tomorrow.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Tomorrow.
I always keep up on the latest what's this
Improv
called? Improv Inside podcast episode.
Yes. No, he talks about where he set a goal to meet 1,000 people. And Katie asked him what was his opener to meet. And it was exactly that. It's like either what's new and good in your life or what's boring and old in your life. But it was about them. And, he hit his goal. But I'm not gonna give it away. You got to watch it. Well, by the time this is out, it'll be up.
Right. I'm asking because I usually end up asking some kind of weird question.
But I love your weird questions.
That can be fun too. But honestly, I found a lot of people that puts people off. That's not a universal thing. Have you ever seen that Jonathan Frakes? There's like a clip of Jonathan Frakes, the guy from Star Trek. He was on another show later, and he asks, on this show, every episode he asks a weird question to start with. Okay. And someone clipped them all together. And it's like him saying, "Who's the tallest man you've ever met?" What's the
I'm not quite
what's
that
the
bad.
longest you've ever ridden a horse for? Have you gone to the dentist lately? And it's really funny.
Katie will ask questions because, she's a psychotherapist. So it's not just, "Hey, did you have a good weekend?" It's, "Did you do something this weekend that pleased the left toe on your right foot?" It's like,
I was thinking
now that I do. I think I did.
I was just picturing you'd be at a party and be like, "So were you abused as a child?"
No, she just knows if you were. She'll ask you. So
that's what I'm saying. And she's like, "Now
I don't have to ask.
Me. Yeah. Throw your baggage on me, please."
No, I don't have to ask those questions. I just know. I intuit them.
Yeah. Oh.
That's right. I do.
I'm sorry you went through that.
When we were walking in, I was just like, okay, we got to go through my childhood and all the...
That's right. No, I have secret questions that I ask and the question.
Do you want me to move so you can lay down and she can...
That's right.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, let me get my notebook.
I'd like a free
Actually,
session.
this is an intervention. We were hoping.
Again. You guys. Well,
you guys.
At least I'm still an Echo Cat.
Yeah, let's see how this turns out. I enjoy being you. And you know who your biggest advocate was to get you an Echo Cat, though?
Wait, let me guess. Was it Mike?
No. That guy does not want any more competition. He's pissed that we're in it. No, Jonathan.
It was?
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so sweet.
That is
Like, would you
sweet.
please let him in? He keeps bothering me. No, he was. He's like, because we were thinking about it for a while and not sure when we wanted to add another person yet. And he's like, yeah, Peter.
Aww.
And I mean, I fought him all the way.
That's so sweet. I'm glad.
Well, I wanted to hear his real reasons. You know, if you fight him, then you get to hear, is it because he's in love with you? Is it because he thinks you're talented?
Jonathan and I realized later, I went back and did the math. We went to Mizzou at the same time.
I was wondering if you did.
And Jonathan actually, I stayed in this, it was like a big house with a bunch of other people. And a couple of them came home one day. Yeah, it was kind of a big brother type situation, except none of them were attractive.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so a couple of them came home and were talking about this really funny show they had seen at the student union. And they were describing it to me, and it was like the first time I had heard about what improv was.
Oh, really?
But at the time, I was too cool. This was like, and they're like, Peter,
too cool for improv.
Yeah, they said, Peter, you'd really like this, And I was like, nah, I don't think it's for me. And I almost went once when they went, but I decided not to. And I'm pretty sure, based on what Jonathan's told me, that it would have been one of his shows that he was performing at.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I believe
that's
it.
Exact same time.
Yeah. That's because when you said it, Mizzou, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, you guys are close to the same age, I think. Because I have a type.
Yeah. Wow.
And Mike.
Right.
Yeah, I think we have a great cast, and I'm glad you came and talked to us.
No, thank you.
I always just have so much fun with you. Am I spitting?
No,
you spit on me to begin with.
Yeah, no, it's the guest the one that gets to spit. Is that not true?
I know. I still feel it on my chest.
It wouldn't be the first time I've sprayed you with spittle during a scene.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That sounded a lot hotter than what it was.
I realized halfway through it, I just got to keep going. I just said spittle. I just said spray. All the words.
My goodness. If you knew how big of a germaphobe I was.
Not what you're doing improv.
I'm going to go and, I'll have the hand sanitizer and then do all this and then Windex and the whole thing. It'll just like, ugh. But not with you.
Yeah.
I just let it soak in. Like,
Rub it in.
Yeah, that's good improv spit there. We're not going to be able to use any of this. All right, well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Diane.
Yeah.
And, oh my God. Thank you. I was so awkward. I was like, what is her name again? We've only been doing the same thing every week for 2 years.
All right, you want to wrap us up? You don't know. We at one time had an outro like, oh, thank you for joining us on Improv Inside Out.
That's it. I think that's it.
And then it was, until next time, stay happy and healthy.
Inside
out.
Okay. Should I say that right now?
We just did.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Improv Inside Out, the healing power of improv. Until next time, we hope you stay happy and healthy inside out.
No, we're going to pick you up with our...
Okay.
Talking to my chest. Are we...
This is like one of these things where like, hi, Diane. It's good to see you.
You spit on me.
That's how you start an interview. Take note.
So can do you have a warm up or a game that you want to play? Because that was kind of fun when we did that in the past. Let's
play 7 things right now. Katie doesn't play a lot of improv.
Okay.
I don't.
Peter, tell me 7 reasons why you were on time tonight.
I don't have a life.
Yes, 1.
I was in my car eating McDonald's.
Yes, 2.
I was in my car reading books.
Yes, 3.
I didn't anticipate traffic properly.
Yes, 4.
I was playing a mobile game.
Yes, 5.
I forgot to trim my beard.
Yes, 6.
And my beard is at home watching our child.
Yes, 7 things.